2022 Mahindra Roxor All Weather. I'm doing this live, no editing, so sorry for any stuttering, corrections, or my accent. Just want to give y'all the difference between the base model and the all-weather model. I did want to go over kind of the basic specs on the units itself, though. It does come with a 2-year unlimited mile warranty, 2.5 turbo diesel, 62 horsepower. Tunings ranges anywhere from around $400 to $800 to send your computer off. Stage 1 goes to the high 90s, and then all the way up to, I think, close to 200. I'll probably do it the next few hundred miles. I got close to 500 on it now. 144 pounds of torque, very solid steel frame. If that hood hits you in the head, it's gonna knock you out. I promise. 9 inches of ground clearance. Now, I am replacing my Honda Talent X with this just to give a comparison. The Honda Talent's around 64 inches wide. This one's right at 61. A little narrower than the Talent. The Talent's 4-seater comes in at 152, and this is around 148 inches. The automatic in this is a 5-speed manual, but they do have an automatic from what I understand. It's the same one that's in the Colorado diesel. Dana 44 type axles, which means that most of the things for the Dana 44 will fit in this. I will do my research on that. Base model starts out at $20,005. Then the all-weather like this usually goes in around $30,000. Now, just to let you know, if you find one of these units at a tractor place, it seems to go out of the door a lot cheaper than the power sport places. Just seems to be they add a lot more fees to it. Tractor places, fees are a lot smaller and a lot less. Street legal in North Carolina is pretty easy. Signal kit had to be added, and that was pretty much it on that. Again, the reason why I got this is it is so much more quieter than the Honda Talent was. Started out with a Kawasaki Teryx, very noisy. Quietest thing I could find was a Honda Talent with that automatic transmission / manual with dual clutches. I didn't really have a chance to look at these with the legal issues going on at the time. No one really had one in the market, and I didn't even know if they were coming back. Now, the minute I test drove this thing, I drove it in the street for about half a mile, turned around, and signed the paperwork on it. I got it from the Mahindra dealership. I think it's in Oxford or Henderson, North Carolina. Great dealership to work with. Junior is my salesperson. If you call up there, please ask for him. He will take care of you. Now, the difference between the all-weather and the base model is obviously top and the doors. Also, the winch. Now, you've got to remember, too, if you're adding up prices and whether you should do this or not, it's just not a winch. You got to get the winch plate. You've got to get the upgraded battery, the wires, and everything else. So, remember that if you're trying to compare the pricing. Also, the little fake beadlock simulators, they're a little better looking than the stock ones are. And also, this comes with the rock box under the dash, which is kind of their accessory box to add lights and things like that. The biggest reason I got this unit was for the heat and AC in here. Now, when I got it, the heat did have an issue on it. They left the rubber plugs in the unit, and it looks like they did it with most or all of the Mahindra Roxor All Weather. So if you're looking at one of these, check the heat before you drive off the lot and make sure it's fixed. I did it myself. I'm just meticulous about my vehicles, and I just didn't want to take a chance of a tractor dealership working with it. They're used to working on tractors. I don't know how many of these units they're working on. Technically, mechanically, I would feel comfortable with them working on things, but again, I'm meticulous about my vehicles, and it wasn't too hard to do. I do have another video of it, so just check the channel, and it should be on there. And the AC unit does have vents, defrost vents, floor vents, and the middle vents. Also comes with the windshield and wipers, obviously, as part of the top, and the mirrors. So if you're looking at a unit that you can actually drive off the lot this time of year, you want heat and AC, I would definitely look at that. It looks like it's going to be hard to get the AC units right now. They're only offering on the all-weather. You can't buy it as a separate unit. So that may sway your decision, and it is a heck of a plus on these units for the heat and AC. Heat's easy to add. AC is a little bit more difficult, but it is a basic Jeep style vehicle, so it'd be easy to call Vintage Air or someone, probably throw a unit together and put it in here if you used to working on these type of vehicles like that. Now, as for the vehicle itself, like I said, I had a Kawasaki Teryx. It was a little loud, so I ended up getting the Honda, which helped out a lot. But then I ended up going to this. The minute you test drive this thing, it is so much more quieter than a side-by-side. Unbelievable. Now, I don't want to keep comparing it to a side-by-side. It still baffles me how a side-by-side can be in the same price range. Pretty much, like I said in the other video, rail buggy with plastic, and I don't want to take anything away from it, but when you drive this vehicle and you see the finished product and how heavy it is, just made so well, it baffles you how it compares. And again, this is the all-weather that was $30,000, but again, the base model's made the same. This is just more accessories. If I would change anything with it, it would be very minimal. It would be nice to have some lockers in it. It's just an open diff now, so you do notice that depending on what type of off-roading you do. The other issue is when they put the aftermarket unit in here, even though it's done at the factory, I don't care too much the way they do the brackets for the heater valve. And the gearing on these, they really went pretty low in these. I think it's like a 538. The old ones were 3 something. So right around 45 miles an hour. I think I'm turning around 2,200 RPMs. It would be nice if it was on the higher side, maybe 411s or something to kind of push them RPMs down. But then again, I do a lot of on-road riding. The only real issues that I've heard about these units is there have been a few starter issues, and I think most of them seems to be contributed to off-roading. The starter's kind of opened up, water gets in there, mud gets in there. Between corrosion and that mud drying, it really shortens the life of the starter, or when that mud dries in there, it's pretty much concrete. It's not going to turn. So that, and also the gauge cluster I've heard been an issue. I have heard that it's not a good idea to jump start these off another car. That could cause an issue with the gauge cluster. So I would definitely think about that. Again, it sounds like the two issues they're having majorly wrong is something that, it just someone that does heavy driving on it or something like that. But I haven't done much to it since I've picked it up. The biggest thing I've done to it is I installed a radio, Rockford PX3, kick panel speakers, rubber mats. Just to let you know, these are the hard cab rubber mats. They do fit in there very well. When you use the kick panel speakers, I did have to trim around it. Even raising it up as high as I could, it wouldn't slide under that. And the same thing with the driver's side. And it does look like one difference with these newer models, maybe the floorboard. I don't know if you can see how that mat kind of comes up a little bit. It looks like the pictures of these mats installed in the older units. It's just flat right there, but I don't know for sure. And then I also have a little magnetic mount. I just stick my phone up there. In the other video I mentioned that when I was doing the radio, I was trying to install a double DIN. There is room back there, but the way the all-weather model does, it has 2 heater hoses that comes up to the defrost vents. And it'd be really tight fit on top of moisture and all that. I just thought this was an easy fix. Use Google Maps on that, Bluetooth it to that, or USB. Either way. Again, very sturdy model. Doors, these soft doors. It's raining today. I ended up driving this to work because my company vehicle had an issue. Wasn't even planning on driving it. Didn't hesitate to jump in this morning. I think it was 40 degrees. Within 2 or 3 minutes of driving it, heat kicked in. Felt great, no issue. Thing drives great on the road. I'm going to check. I don't even think they balance the tires. I don't even see any weights or anything on the tires. So I'm going to check in doing that. That might help out a little bit. I might go out up an inch or so on the tires. I want to keep it kind of looking with this stance. I really enjoy the older look of a Jeep on this. So that's the video. If there's any more questions of the vehicle, let me know. I'll probably do a few more videos about it once I've had it a little bit longer, more of an intense review, kind of the pros and cons of it. Now the other thing I did notice, it was vibrating a little bit in there. These are just little inserts, kind of like anchors. Screws just spin around, don't really snug up. I ended up taking a rubber washer, kind of cutting it like a V, making it look like a kind of a rubber shim kind of. and just kind of pushed it around the inside, between the bar and the back of the top, and just kind of insulated it. Once I did that, no noise or anything. It's very quiet for a soft top, comparable to the newer Jeeps to me. It's nice to have something this basic. If you can work on older Jeeps and stuff, this is perfect for you. It does have some electronics with the fuel injection for the diesel and stuff like that, but very minimal compared to these newer vehicles. And just to look for something that you can scoot around town with, place, point A to point B, pull in the parking spaces, no issue at all. Take it off-road when you want to. It's a great vehicle for the price. So that's the video for now. I'll probably, like I said before, I will do a couple more videos on the unit after I put some miles on it. But please, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask. I appreciate you looking. Thank you.